You've been apologizing your whole life for simply existing. But what if that reflex isn't politeness? It's survival. There's a child inside you who learned something devastating. That being seen meant being unsafe. That having needs meant being a burden. First quirk. You bump into a chair and immediately whisper, "Sorry." You apologize for breathing too loud, for taking up space, for existing. This isn't politeness. Your brain learned that saying sorry was the fastest way to diffuse danger. Preemptive surrender became your superpower. Second quirk. Simple choices paralyze you. Menu selection becomes existential crisis. You'd rather let others decide than risk choosing wrong. Your preferences were ignored so often as a kid that your brain just gave up having them. Learned helplessness isn't laziness, it's survival programming. Third quirk. You rewrite emails 5 times before sending. Good enough never feels good enough because love was conditional on being exceptional. You learned early that love wasn't free. It was earned through straight A's, perfect behavior, and never making mistakes. Exhaustion became your default setting. Fourth quirk. You can analyze everyone else's feelings brilliantly, but when someone asks how you feel, you glitch. Emotions became data to study, not experience. Big emotions were met with indifference when you were small, so you learned to live entirely in your head where it's safer. But buried feelings don't die, they just get stronger. Fifth quirk. You carry all 12 grocery bags in one trip until your fingers turn purple because asking for help feels like admitting defeat. You learned that asking for help led to sighs, lectures, or worse, nothing at all. So you became completely self-sufficient, which sounds strong but feels desperately lonely. Sixth quirk. Someone compliments you, and your first thought is, what do they want? Genuine affection feels like a trap because love always came with conditions. Affection was rationed so carefully in your childhood that abundance now triggers panic. Your nervous system screams, it's a trap, louder than your heart whispers, maybe they care. Seventh quirk. Your personality changes completely depending on who you're with. You're a social chameleon who forgot what color you actually are underneath all the camouflage. Being your authentic self was risky as a kid, so you became whoever others needed you to be. Now you have no idea who's standing in the empty room when everyone leaves. Final quirk. You've perfected the art of taking up zero space, walking quietly, never voicing needs, assuming nobody would miss you if you disappeared tomorrow. Being visible as a child meant getting hurt or ignored, so invisibility became survival. You don't feel like you made a mistake. You feel like you are the mistake. But here's what nobody tells you. These aren't personality quirks. They're survival strategies that a child created to stay safe in an unsafe world. That child did what they had to do to survive. But you're not in that house anymore. The strategies that saved you then are suffocating you now. It's time to retire those old strategies with gratitude. Thank that child for keeping you alive. But you don't need armor anymore. You need authenticity. You're allowed to take up space, to have preferences, to ask for help, to trust kindness, to be messy and imperfect and visible and real. If this hit different, drop a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. We're all just former children trying to figure out how to be adults. Subscribe for more honest conversations about the stuff we weren't taught. Until next time, remember this. You deserved better then. You deserve better now. Start here.